Everybody, Kit Nagy here for Nagy on Sports, welcoming you back for a new episode of the Video Breakdown. Today's episode, we're going to take a look at the blocking specific to the outside zone scheme, and I think you'll notice that it takes a very agile lineman that can move up the field and across the field with ease. They're not so much focused on pushing their man out of a spot, but instead getting in front of their man and blocking off his path from getting to their running back, which stretches out the field and helps to open up lanes for the running back to run through. So we'll take a look at that and make sure that we have a better understanding of how the blocking works, as well as how the reads that the running back's going to use to make his appropriate cuts, like we talked about in the last video. So here's our first play to break down. It's a halfback stretch to the right, just like every play we're going to run. Notice Chubb has bounced to the outside. He's near the sideline and picking up big yardage. So now let's watch the O-line on this play. Notice the entire line moves laterally. We're focused on Conklin and Hooper here. They're going to first attempt to double team with a chip block from Hooper to help Conklin seal the edge. However, notice the defender there backs off, so Conklin is going to take his man up, and Hooper is going to move straight to the next level, try to seal his linebacker. Meanwhile, the play goes outside of them, and Conklin continues to drive his guy backwards. Now let's focus on Teller, who's going to successfully win his block, sealing the defender from the play. He's then going to move up the field with a cavalcade of linemen looking for pursuing defenders to block. So let's look at Chubb's read here. His first look is to see if the edge is going to be sealed. Notice there's a gap opening up behind the play. However, defenders are in the gap in the position to make the play, so that's not a particularly good option, so he'll want to bounce outside. His second read is going to be on a defender on a pursuit course, plus a neutral block from Landry, meaning that the bounce continues to be his best option, working towards the sideline and gaining the most yardage. So our second halfback stretch is going to look an awful lot like the first one. However, there are some differences here that we're going to tease out as we break down this film. First, let's focus J.C. Treader, who's going to work aggressively to get his face mask across the guy in front of him. Then he's going to work up the field, much like Teller did on the previous play, to cut off pursuing defenders. Now let's watch how Hooper and Janovich work together to seal the edge. Watch how Janovich comes up to clean up the block that Hooper was unable to finish. Now we'll watch as Juice Landry shows us a textbook stock block. He's going to release upfield like he's running a route, then as soon as the defender recognizes his run, he's going to block him and give Nick Chubb a read to cut off of. Now let's watch Nick Chubb's read for this play. Again, he's looking for this last defender on the line to see whether he'll be sealed or have contained. The line itself is relatively congested with bodies, not a lot of room to work. However, there's a big gap between that last defender and the sideline, so the bounce is the correct read here for Nick Chubb. As he works out, well, let's pan over here so we can see just how congested that all is. Really no cutback lanes or anywhere for Nick Chubb to go inside of the line, which is why the bounce is the correct read for right now until he gets to the end of this line and suddenly it's going to change. It changes because you'll notice here with this new read that Landry's got an inside block, meaning the bang is the correct read, and he's going to head up the field and then truck stick a guy because he's Nick Chubb and he's dang hard to tackle. For a third iteration of the halfback stretch, we'll see an early bang cut up the field, and of course we'll be taking a look at some of the blocking specific to this play. So here we're going to focus on Hooper, who's going to chip his defender to help Conklin get his face mask across the defender until Janovich can get there to help out as well. The most important part of this, however, is that Hooper is then going to work up to the next level and provide a crucial block to get Nick Chubb further up the field. Here Teller has nobody lined up in front of him, so he actually can work immediately up to the next level where he gets the backside linebacker with a nice block. Wills too is uncovered. Working up the field, he puts a shuck on the defensive back, which is enough to keep him from making a play on the ball. Landry performs another textbook stock block, and again, provides a great read for Nick Chubb. Now for the read. Nick Chubb's going to spot a big gap opening up, so of course he's going to bang up the field pretty quickly here. Now the second read tells him he would be tackled going to the left, tackle going to the right, so he's going to actually cut just inside of Hooper's block there to work up the field again. Our fourth halfback stretch is also a bang play, but it's got a slight bend in there based on the blocking, which we'll look at. First we'll watch Teller as he's going to double team to chip on the defender with Treader, then he's going to make a critical block that Nick Chubb cuts off of. Next watch Bitonio work to the next level because he's uncovered and provide a great sustained block here for Nick Chubb to work with. Now for the read. Once again, the gap is going to open pretty quickly for the bang right up the hole, so that's exactly what Nick Chubb is going to do. He knows he's going to get tackled if he goes to the outside, so he actually chooses to bend just inside of Teller's block there, which then allows him to head up the field. For our final halfback stretch play, we'll take a closer look at the bend cut. Here I've provided another angle for you to see the gap that he's looking to cut back into for the bend. The purpose of this clip is to watch how Janovich gets stuck behind Conklin here and blocks the path for Chubb to be able to bounce to the outside, which is why he needs to cut back. Watch now as Treader's going to take his man and blow him well behind the line, opening up a gap for Chubb to be able to bend the play back against the flow of the defense. And now for the read. Chubb is going to get the ball here, recognize that Janovich is in his path for the bounce. Otherwise, he would have to kind of balloon outside to get to the bounce. So instead, he's going to look for the cutback, recognize the gap opening up, and bend back against the flow. So there it is, folks, the outside zone blocking scheme. So it may wonder that this potentially looks familiar to you, because if you were around for 2014, this is the very same offense that Kyle Shanahan was running. And in fact, it was popularized in the NFL by his father, Mike Shanahan, who was looking for a way to defend against defenses like the one ran by Dom Capers in Pittsburgh. That defense, called the zone blitz, is one where you can bring pressure from anywhere on the field. And in fact, sometimes you'll drop some of your defensive linemen into zones to compensate for free safeties or corners coming in on blitzes. To compensate for that, the outside zone scheme looks to bring linemen into a zone blocking assignments, which gives them an area of the field that they're responsible for. Therefore, anybody coming into that zone, they're responsible to pick up for the outside zone scheme. We saw some of that today, which helps to stretch the field, but it also sets up the play action pass, which is something we're going to get into for our next breakdown video. If you guys have suggestions or things that you want to see in these breakdown videos, please post them in the comments below so that I can take a look at those and start planning such videos. But I do have a number of other videos I'm planning to break down in the future as well. Until next time, I'm Kit Nagy for Nagy on Sports, and as always, go Browns!